Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso right here on SABC3. Now we're talking marriage this morning. It may be one of the oldest institutions, but trends regarding it keep changing. One of the most notable changes concerns the choice that women have when registering for the surname that they will have once they are married. Recently, however, we've seen a massive spate of complaints on social media from married women claiming that their surnames were automatically changed to their husband's surnames without their consent. We're joined this morning by family law attorney Bertus Prella to chat more about this issue. Bertus, it's so good to have you on our show this morning. Now, I know in the past when a woman registered for marriage, her surname was automatically changed to that of her husband's. Is this something that still happens today?
I think one must look at the history of, why that happened. And it's something that came from the 14th century in the old Norman conquest in the UK, in England, whereby by default women didn't have any identity, so they had to take on the man's surname. And that is where it comes from. So I think there's a perception still today that by default, although the legislation says otherwise, the wife must follow the husband's surname.
Yeah. So what are the current trends today? I mean, where do we stand? I know you have double barrels, you have women that choose to keep their own surnames. What are the current surname options, if you will?
Okay. It's regulated by the Births and Deaths Registration Act. Section 26 of that act states that you can either keep your name, do a double barrel, take the husband's name, or take any former name. So you have that choice. But what's happening lately is that people make that choice, and ultimately, when they get the marriage certificate, they've got another surname.
Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of uproar about this whole situation on social media, with a petition even against the official practices. When it comes to surnames, what kind of effect could we see this having on how people register their names in the future?
I think there's going to be more focus on the identity of people. You know, if you just look at it in today's life, people build up a social profile on a social network, for example, and you see that women get married later in life, so they've established themselves, and then changing that surname would be a problem. But you can clearly see there's a tendency that people either keep their names or do the double barrel. Yeah,
but it's got nothing to do with losing your identity, because I think the more, established women become, maybe it is a feeling of losing your identity.
I think it's a matter of losing your identity on social networks, for example, and you've built a ladder to success, and now suddenly you're someone else.
Well, Bertus, I think this is one of those conversations that we can continue to talk about. I, for one, look forward to getting married and taking on my husband's surname, as long as I can keep a Williams and a double barrel in there as well. Thank you so much for joining us. So wonderful chatting to Bertus about keeping your surnames. Do you, don't you, do you go double barrel? But it is time for us to talk about protecting that income as well. And Zoe has the details.